I want to pick up a few points. Left as Value Free Speech says, why are you not showing Andrew Parker and his real voice? Well, actually, I did. I actually played those two clips of him from his Mandy showreel, and I don't know what is his true voice. As, for example, many actors have a facility, can learn how to do RP. That may not be their true voice. In fact, very rarely is it. And so Farage talks about this rough accent and the true voice, the rough voice being the fake. I have no idea whether that's the case. I have no idea whether the true voice is the one that is approximately RP. If you look at people like Daniel Radcliffe, when he was performing in Merrily We Roll Along, while he was performing, he maintained his American accent even off stage, because he found that if he dropped back into a British accent, the American accent on stage wobbled, and so he kept it up all the time. And Ewan McGregor, similarly, has a facility for the American, for the English, and for the Scottish. David Tennant, another, who can switch quite comfortably between his native Scottish accent and the RP English accent that he adopted, for example, for Doctor Who. The present Doctor Who also, every so often you hear a twang of the Scottish accent, which presumably is his native accent. This idea, if Parker is genuinely an actor, and on his Mandy profile he said that he had an equity card, but normally when people point out in their CVs that they have an equity card, they would put down their equity number, I think. I certainly would, but maybe I'm wrong, and I just think there's too many things which are uncertain about that story. And left as Value Free Speech, I've already covered the Andrew Parker voices, and I've posted them, and I don't intend to do it again. Otherwise, I have people saying, well, you posted that yesterday, which occasionally I do, and I am aware of all that. Cobbler40 says, Le Pen, I am sure, is pro-Putin, like all other well-funded populist parties, so Farage is not alone. I am pleased to know that. It would be so sad to think that Farage is on his own. And the BBC were the first, other than CWU, to be informed of the missing 15K, now believed to be Event 1 of Horizon scandal in 1997. CWU, 25 years on, are providing evidence to the Horizon inquiry, but Jill Dando is not. Well, I don't quite understand what all that is about, Kenneth Simmons, but I do know that the Horizon scandal was well documented long before the court case in 2019. And all you have to do is go back to Private Eye. Private Eye was there at the beginning, and the huge shock of the amount of money wasted in trying to defend the indefensible, the huge shock of the huge number of people who have been prosecuted for nothing, and the failure of our present government to deal with this properly and to fully exonerate, to fully compensate people for the misery that they have suffered because of the obsession with silencing whistleblowers. It's not just this. There are so many other cases which will need to be looked into, and I think will dominate the outtray of any government that takes office after the 4th of July. And Fraz 725, when you describe Farage's unsuitability for office due to being only focused on his own advancement, does that remind you of anyone else? I presume you're talking about Boris Johnson. The answer is absolutely. Absolutely it does. And we've got to change the mindset of people who want to go into Parliament. That's why I think it's so important that we see the House of Lords as a vocational process, as something where people are called from business, from ordinary life, into the House of Lords to serve a period of time as a lord, to retain the title, but to do their public duty with no particular interest in being re-elected. The idea of an election is one of the ideas which queers the parliamentary mission, because an election is all about somebody promoting their own success and their own achievements. If we really have achievements, if we really have success, they're promoted on their own. We don't need to go around the place singing our own praises, because it's done for us by the products that we put out. And I don't know any products that have been put out by Boris Johnson or by Nigel Farage except for themselves. And you know, that's it. The self-congratulatory. And as for Liz Truss and some of these other minor political celebrities, political has-beens, they have nothing to commend. Jacob Rees-Mogg, what has he achieved except for himself? And that's not a great achievement. Oh, and his nanny, he's a great advocate for her. But yeah, I agree, Fraz, absolutely.